بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. I'm grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Lord, our creator, our cherisher, our sustainer, for enabling me to come and pass through this city and meet the mu'mineen and mu'minat, a devout community in this part of the world. It is a blessing. It is an opportunity for me to meet you, to learn from you, to have a discussion about our faith, about our presence in this place, about our families, our children, our future, about our Islam and our relationship with God and with the Prophet and his family. The entire life is an opportunity, my friends. We are sent here for a number of days. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, "Innama anta adadu ayyam." Adadu ayyam. You have been made and composed of a number of days. He didn't say a number of weeks or months or years. إنما أنت عدد أيام, number of days. فكل يوم يمضي فيك يمضي ببعضك. Every day that passes by, today, what was it today? Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. This day is over. It's not going to come back. This day is over forever. So, فَكُلُّ يَوْمٍ يَمْضِي فِيكَ يَمْضِي بِبَعْضِكَ. Every day that passes by is going to dismantle part of you, take away part of you. We are being dismantled. At the time of birth, we were assembled, integrated. Now, as the time passes by, the weeks, the months, the years, we are getting disassembled, dismantled. يمضي ببعضك. Life is an opportunity. Every day counts, every single day. Don't say that this day is not important. Every single day is important. Every single hour is important. We are here on this planet Earth for a number of days. And they don't give us more than that, believe me. If you ask for some more days, God would say no. God says at the time of death, حتى إذا حضر أحدهم الموت قال رب ارجعون لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت كلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها ومن ورائهم برزخ إلى يوم يبعثون. At the time of death, some of them say, "Oh God, I really didn't know, I wasn't aware. You didn't inform me that I'm dying. And I'm behind, I'm delinquent. I'm not prepared for today. So can you leave me 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, so I can settle my account with you?" There are prayers that I did not do, حقوق that I neglected, حقوق العباد that I usurped. I took money from people, I didn't return the money. I took loan, I didn't repair. I insulted Fulan, and I did not apologize to them. I did not go to Hajj. I wasn't good with my parents, with my family members. So give me more chance so I can go and fix these problems. لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما ترك. لعلي, maybe I can fix these problems. The answer comes from God. كلا, impossible. We don't allow him to return because Israel is there waiting for you, and Israel is always on schedule, arrives on time, and he's very busy, too busy. He doesn't take any vacation. Everyone takes vacation except Israel. He works 24/7. He's busy, and he moves from one place into another. Today he's in Roanoke, Virginia. Tomorrow he's in Las Vegas. Then he's in Paris. Then he's in Beijing. Then he's in Bombay. Then he's in Najaf. Then he comes back. He has a very busy schedule, Israel. They don't let him. They don't give respite. They don't give extra time to anyone. Kalla. Huh?
How many Israel is
there? There is one Israel. The leader is one, but he has assistants who assist him. So this life is an opportunity for waste any day, and don't waste any week, and don't waste any hour. Every day counts. Every day that passes by, you will be asked about it tomorrow. God says, وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ. We will stop them and we will interrogate them. Interrogate them about what? About your life here, what you did. We have given you 60, 70, 80 years of life. What did you do? How did you spend these days and nights? Did you build yourself? Did you build your family? Did you build your community? Did you contribute to your society or not? You were a burden. There are two types of people in this life. Some of them are burden. Imam Ali alayhi salam says some people are كالبهيمة المربوطة, like a cattle. Today I was coming from South Carolina. You know how many cows I saw? Only God knows. Imam Ali says some human are like cows. بهيمة المربوطة همها علفها. The only concern they have is food, is to eat, fill the stomach. That's the only concern they have, some people. There's no difference between them and animals. They are a burden on their families, on their communities, on this earth, on their societies. Burden. But there are others who contribute. Their life is rich. Their life full of contribution, full of inspiration. When you look at them, when you watch them, when you follow them, wow, this guy, he's an equal to 10,000 men. Look at what he does. Wherever he goes, he builds, he inspires, he creates, he encourages people. Life is short. They are not going to wait for us. Israel is not going to wait for me to fix my mistakes and my sins. One day Israel came to a prophet. واحد من أنبياء بني إسرائيل جاء إسرائيل عليه السلام. Came to him. Israel came to take the soul of one of the Anbiya of the Bani Israel. There were plenty of Anbiya, plenty of prophets. So the prophet said, oh God, you know, I'm not afraid of death. It's okay, because when I die, I'm meeting you. But at least you should have told me, given me a notice. 1 week notice, 1 month notice, so I can say bye to my wife, to my kids. God said to him, I sent you a notice. Then when? I didn't get it. He said, no, 40 years ago. He said, how did you send me a notice? He said, when you develop the first gray hair in your beard, the first one. أول ما طلعت لك شعر البيضة الأولى, that was the notice. The first gray hair. Now, how many gray hairs I have here? God knows. How many notice we have received? This is a notice that you are aging. You are not getting younger. You are not getting younger. The day that passes by takes us closer to our final destination. وَمِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ بَرْزَخٌ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. So we receive the notice, but we tend to ignore it. Why? Because we are busy with the dunya. Busy with lahu wa la'ib, the entertainment, the amusement of this dunya, with our money, with our business, with our rest, with our comfort, with food, with sleep, not with responsibility. So we forget about our final destination. We forget why we are here. We forget. I asked someone who came to America 40 years ago, and he doesn't have a job. He works for a minimum wage. He's been in this country for 40 years. I said to him, listen, your peers, your friends are all physicians. Look at them, engineers, architects, physicians, surgeons. They came the same time back in the 80s. What happened to you? He said, Syed, you know what happened to me? You are true, yes. All those, I see him walking with physicians always, dining with them, walking. So I thought in the beginning that he's a physician too. But then one day I was asked him, what do you do for a living? He said, I work in a car wash. I said, do you own the car wash? He said, no, I just wash cars. Ajib, how? Your friends are physicians. He said, yes. My family sent me back in 1980 to this country after I finished my high school to go to college here. And I went to college the first year. But then, since I came from a village somewhere in the Middle East, I came to this country, wow, you know, parties, fun, nightclubs, alcohol, at that time, girls. So I forgot why I am here. So I dropped out of the school. I was busy partying. To be honest with you, I was busy partying. I did not take a school serious. Whereas my friends and my colleagues, they went to school, they studied hard. This is why they are, mashallah, accomplished professionals. I did not take a school serious. Though I came with them, they were my peers, my friends. But look, where did they go and where did I stay? He stayed behind. He forgot why his family sent him to America. His family sent him to this country to study, not to play, not to go to nightclubs, to go to college, to go to university, to focus on his studies, on his school, but he forgot. We do the same now. We forget why God sent us to this earth. We think that we are here to have fun. We don't realize that God sent us here for a number of days. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. We sent death and life to test you, to see who does the best. God did not say who works. No. God is not satisfied with ordinary jobs. He says أحسن عملا. God expects us to do the best. أحسن عملا. أحسن عملا. Not a mediocre work, no. God wants me to do A+ always, because He has given me everything. He has given me intelligence, aql. He has given me health. He has given me an opportunity. إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلِ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. We showed him the way. It's like a father who provides everything for his children, everything from A to Z. Then the kids have no excuse not to study, to be lazy. They have no excuse. They have a house, they have healthcare, they have money, they have food, they have shelter, they have a father and a mother. So they have no excuse. God says to us, you have no excuse. I have given you everything. You must work hard. You must give. You must leave a legacy in this life. And life is very fast, so fast. So fast. More than you can imagine. So fast. فَكُلُّ يَوْمٍ يَمْضِي فِيكَ يَمْضِي بِبَعْضِكَ. Every day that passes by is going to take part of us away until one day part left. Everything is gone. Or who you believe God, revere. Not fear, revere. Fear has a negative connotation. Fear means that God is dictator, God is horrible, God is someone who has no mercy. We have to fear him. No, revere. Revere has a better meaning, a positive connotation. You revere your father. You don't fear your father. You revere him. You respect him. You honor him. Your father is supposed to be your friend. Fear him. You revere him. Reverence means respect. Ittaqullah. Revere God. وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. Think about what you have advanced for tomorrow. Ghad means tomorrow. Means when? Which tomorrow? Day of Judgment, which is tomorrow. God does not say next year or next century. No, 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 tomorrow, because it's so eminent, so eminent, so close. وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ. God knows about everything that you do. بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ. Why he's here? He thought he's here to go to nightclub. He dropped out of school. This is why he lost. Some people, God sent them to this life, they forget. نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ. The result, when we forget about God, God will make us you can find the best schools, the best hospitals, the best malls, the best shopping centers, but then still we have probably the highest suicide rate among the nations. We have the highest rate of depression among the nations. The American people are very susceptible to depression, very. This is not me, this is the CNN, sorry. CNN has a survey, check it out. It says the American people are very susceptible to depression. Why? They have money, they have economy, they have the Pentagon, they have technology. Because there is a spiritual voidness and emptiness. They are disconnected. When you are disconnected from the source of power, then the heart gets dark. The heart gets dark. And then you find people are confused and lost. Another survey says 90% of university students, 90% of college and university students, they do drugs in this country. 90%, including Muslim students. Why do you have to do drugs? Ask your father, grandfather, when they were studying at universities in Iraq, in Kabul, in Mumbai, in Karachi, in Cairo, in Damascus, did they do drugs at that time? Did they do drugs? There were no drugs. And they were successful. Because there is a disconnect. When people disconnect themselves from their higher spiritual power, when people are always concerned, always busy partying, they disconnect themselves, this is the result. Definitely they're going to do drugs. Why they do drugs? Ask them why. Why do you do drugs? I want to forget my problems. But if a person is connected to the source of power, source of strength, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't have to do drugs. Your drug is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هو الشافي وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين. He is the one who provides spiritual healing. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam says, there is a difference between the believer and non-believer in this life. How they are different, how they are different from each other. Maybe they live in the same zip code, same, neighborhood, same street. One house next to another. One of them is a believer, the other is non-believer. Maybe they go to the same supermarket. They eat the same food. They drive the same cars. They work in the same place. But one of them is believer, the other is non-believer. One of them does not miss his prayers, the other one does not even believe in God. So what is the difference between them then? Some people ask, what's the difference? What did Islam do to me? My friend is also successful and he's healthy, he's happy. Imam al-Sadiq says here, the difference is here. So he puts all his energy where? On this life here. Whereas the mu'min, he lives here, he enjoys this life, but he's building a credit for the akhirah. وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى وَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. God says, enjoy this life, enjoy your family, enjoy the food. قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ. Who is forbidding the good things that God had provided for his servants? These are halal, enjoy this life. But remember, you are not staying here. Don't get attached to this life. Be prepared to leave. Unfortunately, some people that we lost, so many of them during this COVID-19, this pandemic, they did not even have had a chance to say bye to their wives, to their kids, to their families. They were taken to the hospital. The hospital did not allow their families to come and visit them. So they didn't get a chance. And after a week, 10 days, sometimes 3 weeks, 4 weeks on ventilators, they passed out. They couldn't even say bye. It could happen to us, but then we know there is another place. We're going to reunite. This life, we have to leave it. No one is staying here. إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيِّتُونَ. God says to the Prophet, you are dying. He did not say to him, you will die. See, there is a difference. There is a difference between you will die and you are dying. What is the difference? Huh? You are dying, it means definitely you are dying. No escape. You are dying. This is your destiny. This is your destiny. No escape from that and no exception. You are walking to death. You are meeting your destination. It's more powerful. It's like when I say tomorrow I'll be leaving or tomorrow I'm leaving. There is a difference. When I say I'm leaving, it means I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change. I'm leaving. No matter what happens, I'm leaving. God says to the Prophet, إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ. He did not say to him, إِنَّكَ سَتَمُوتُ. You will die. No. إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ. وَإِنَّهُمْ. They also. They means us, the entire creation. مَيِّتٌ. So we are dying. We are not staying here. Nobody is going to survive. No one is going to survive. In this pandemic, we had more people in the medical field who died. They are doctors and surgeons. They are supposed to save lives, but they died, unfortunately. They gave their life to save others. So they died. They couldn't save their own lives, let alone others. This means that no one is protected against death. No one is immune. Even Anbiya, they have to go. Jibreel came to Prophet Noah alayhi salam. He said to him, يا أطول الأنبياء عمرا يا أطول الأنبياء عمرا كيف وجدت الدنيا. You are the longest serving prophets of God. Noah is the longest serving. Some numbers put the years of his service at 1700, 1700, because he lived, he worked 950. فلبث في قومه 50,000 سنة إلا 50 عاما. But he lived for 1700 years. He preached 950, but he lived 1700 years. So Jibreel is asking him, how do you describe this life? Can you put this life in one word, in one sentence? He says, yes. How is it? He says, وجدتها كدار لها بابان دخلت من أحدهما وخرجت من الآخر. I passed through this life. Dunya is like a house that has two entrances. I came from one, I passed, I walked, I exited from the other. I passed. He says, I passed. 1700 years and he passed. He didn't say I stayed. He said, I passed. Like the transit lounge at the airport, you pass through it. We have to be prepared. We build our akhirah here. Ad-dunya mazra'atul akhirah. This life is the plantation for the next. Every day you walk on this earth, you have to be careful. You have responsibilities. If you are a father, you have a family to sustain, not just financially, you are not just a breadwinner, you are an educator, you are a mentor. Every father of you here, every mother is a mentor, is a teacher, is a role model. Sometimes we complain, why we lose our kids are not listening. You know, one of the main reasons that our kids have drifted, it's because us, the parents. We did not do good. We did not do good. We were not good examples. We were not good examples. The only thing we know is to preach to our kids, to lecture them. But this is not the way. The way is to be yourself an example. If you want your son to be honest, you have to be honest. If you don't want him to be delinquent, you should not be delinquent. Your son and your daughter are watching you, watching their parents constantly. They are intelligent. If they see double standard, they know the father is lying, the mother is lying. They are not serious. So they are not going to follow religion. 99% of the work is done at home. If you want your kids to be righteous, they are not going to be righteous because of the public school or the social media. They're going to be righteous because of you, because what you do at home. Ahlul Bayt are an example. Example for us on how to save and protect our children. Lady Fatima alayhi salam, she would teach her kids how to be nice to the neighbors, how to be compassionate. The sacrifice of Imam Hussein is not easy. It's not ordinary. Someone who leaves his home in Medina and goes to another territory, another land with only 70 or 80 people, and he gives his life. This is unprecedented in the history of mankind. Why did he do that? Because of his mother Fatima. How? Because the day they were eating food, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ, chapter 76, miskinan wa yatiman wa asira. They were fasting for 3 days. Every night at time of sunset, a person comes asking for food. They carry the food. What was the food at that time? It wasn't chicken biryani, by the way. The food was only 5 loaves of bread. Only bread. They will give it to the beggar, the destitute, the captive. So when they were ready to give their food, when they were 5 years old, 6 years old, at the age of 56 and 57, they were ready to give their life. It's about the training. It's about leadership. They did not say, no, I'm hungry. Listen, I'm hungry. I can't. I haven't had anything since 2 days. They didn't say that. And their parents, they encouraged them. Sometimes our children, they want to do something good, but the father says, no, 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 no. Forget about it. Don't help. Take care of yourself. Don't worry about others. Don't help them. Usually when our kids, they come back from school, what do we ask them? If we are there, what do we ask them? Homework. About the homework, about the school. But we never ask them to see whether they helped someone at school, someone who was distressed, someone who is orphan, someone who is poor, someone who did not bring his lunch today. We never asked them. We never asked them, did you share your food with someone? Did you share your money with someone who had no money? We don't. All what we care about, their academic excellence, not their spiritual excellence. All what we ask about their grades, but we don't ask about their behavior, their manners, their akhlaq, their contribution. We don't. This is why they grow up, most of the kids, selfish. They only like themselves. But a father and a mother who says to their kids, to school. There are, he says, when I travel at the airports, I search around me, I look around me to see if there is someone in distress, someone who lost his money, someone who wants to buy something, someone who doesn't know the direction, someone who cannot read the signs. So I try to help those people. And he's right, I saw him. I refer people to him. Whenever we have a call at our staff, someone who doesn't have rent, his car is broken, divorce, whatever, I call him and sometimes I tell him, Hajj Fulan, I'm really embarrassed. I'm overburdened. He says, no, Syed, this is a gift. When you call me, it's a privilege. Don't feel bad about it. He says, I love to help people. This is the essence of life. This is Islam, my friends. This is Islam. Islam is not just standing here praying like the Saudi in Mecca and Medina. Allahu Akbar, up and down, and then they fight outside. And then they discriminate, and then they insult other Muslims. This is not Islam. Islam is when you carry human soul, beautiful soul. When you reach out to people around you, regardless of their color, of religion, of culture, you don't care. They are a human being. This is Islam. Islam, when you are a contribution to your community. Ask yourself, let me ask myself when I go home, before I sleep, what did I do today? Did I help anyone? Did I save anyone? Did I guide anyone? Did I assist anyone? Did I support anyone? Did I make anyone happy or not? حاسبوا أنفسكم قبل أن تحاسبوا. Hold yourself accountable before they hold you accountable. Ask yourself, what are the good things you did today? Did you do any good thing? This is self-building, my friends. This is self-building. Self-building, you don't have to run 10 miles a day. No, God says these are small things. Small, conscientious things that you do in your life, helping others, being a human, being insan. I recall a story of someone who was not disciplined. He was reckless when he was young. His father used to tell him in Farsi, to Adam nimishi. You are not going to be Adam, human. Look at how you live, you are reckless, irresponsible, you don't, care about anything. One day, this guy became a president. So when he became president, he was sitting in his office. His father came to visit him. He was busy with the files, with, maybe playing with his iPhone 13, whatever. He did not human. You can be president. The best example we have in America, Donald Trump, president of the United States of America, but he's not a human. Didn't we have him for 4 years? Yeah? When you become a human, this is the accomplishment. You don't have to be the most famous architect, the most famous surgeon, the most famous professor, the most famous speaker, the most famous Maulana or scholar. Be human, true human being. This is success. This is success. Surah Al-Shams was recited by Samir. He's relaxing now, alhamdulillah. قد أفلح سامر قد أفلح من زكاها. See, this is very powerful. Indeed, successful is the one who purifies himself, becomes human being. Human being. That is success. God says this is success. He didn't say قد أفلح من got money or a degree or became the mayor or the president. Or he didn't say that. قد أفلح من زكاها. If you purify yourself, refine yourself, become a true human being, this is success. God does not want more than that from you, believe me. He doesn't want more accomplishment. He wants you to be a true human being. He wants you to build your akhirah. He wants you to live on this earth as a human being, carrying human characteristics, becoming insan. Alhamdulillah, your community is small community, but inshallah united. And colorful too, diversified. You have Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, India, Iran. Where else? Iraq, I said Iraq, yeah. Alhamdulillah, this is the beauty. And you have to live in harmony. No race is above others. No culture is above others. No language even above others. We respect Arabic language only because it's the language of the Quran. Only, that's it. And if the Quran was in Urdu or in Swahili or in whatever, we would also learn that language. Colors into different cultures, so you recognize one another, so you respect one another, so you learn from one another. You learn لتعارفوا, not لتحاربوا, not to fight, but to cooperate. So keep this place, as Sayyid Abid mentioned, number one, pay the mortgage, inshallah. Everyone has to pay. Someone who is able would pay 10,000, another one pays 5,000, another one may be able to pay 1,000, another one who doesn't have still has to pay, even if he pays $10. Even if you pay $10, it's okay. It's okay. Allah knows your ability. Allah does not overburden you. But you cannot say, I don't pay. No, pay. Why? When you pay, you develop sense of belonging. Sense of belonging. This is my place. This is my home. You try to protect it. You become a shareholder. A shareholder. Even in Amazon today, some people have $2 billion share, another have $200. It's okay, but he's a shareholder according to his ability. You have to be a shareholder in your Islamic center. You have to take care of it. We all clean. We all take care. We all serve. We all serve. I went to Pakistan a few years ago. I loved something that I saw. Wow. Blew up my mind. I saw the president of the organization, a huge organization. Thousands of people come. Thousands of people come to the Friday prayers, packed. Thousands. The president, he's an Air Force Marshal, a retired Air Force Marshal. I didn't see him in the office. They took me to the office. I said, where's the president? Then they showed me on the security cameras. They said, see, he's standing here, he's standing there. Because terrorism on the rise, anti-Shiism on the rise. This man, he's carrying the radio in his hand, and he's not young. He's probably in his late 60s, early 70s. He does not sit on a couch. After the salat, he came. I shook hand with him. I said to him, well, where were you? He said, Syed, I cannot rest. This is the security of this place is my responsibility. And I have to make sure that all these gates are safe and secure. No terrorist would come and blow up himself and the congregation. I cannot rest until after the salat. After people left, then he came to the office, he sat on the couch. This is leadership. This is leadership. President does not mean I am sitting and sipping coffee and tea and giving orders to people to work. I have to work. This is the example of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasallam. Imam Ali, I conclude with this story. Imam Ali became caliph for 4 years and 9 months in Kufa. 4 years and 9 months. First of all, there was a palace in Kufa, Qasr al-Imara. This palace dedicated for the caliph, for the governor of Kufa. When Imam Ali arrived from Medina to Kufa, they said to him, you live in this palace? He said, no palace. Jannibuni. Keep me away from palace. I'm not here to live in a palace. He himself built a house. He with his own hand, with his children, Hassan and Hussein alayhim as-salam. He was the builder of a small house. You can see the house today. When you go to Masjid al-Kufa, next to Masjid anyone who's distressed, anyone who's hungry, anyone who wants to talk to the leader, I am here. They tell him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, sit in your office. People are going to come to you. If they have a need, they come to you. He says, no. He says, no. In Arabic, he says, لَعَلَّ فِي هَذِهِ الْبُيُوتِ زَمِنًا. Zamin means disabled, cannot walk. أو من لا يستطيع أن يصل إليه فأكون أنا الذي أصل إليه. Maybe in these neighborhoods, in these homes, there is someone, a lady, a man, an old person, young person who is disabled or who cannot reach to me. I'll be the one who reach out to him. This is leadership. Why do you love Imam Ali? Because of this. Because of this quality. Dedication, dedication. This is leadership. Leadership means service, serving people. Leadership means dedication. Those are the examples of our leaders. So inshallah, at this center, all of you are leaders. All of you. All of you work here. All of you contribute. All of you take care of this place. All of you make it beautiful, presentable, nice. So if an American wants to come one day and hears about Islam, then he has a place to come. Because also we have a responsibility not only of teaching ourselves Islam, but passing it to our neighbors. Because tomorrow on the Day of Judgment, God is going to say, hey, Mustafa, you lived in America for 40 years, 30 years, 25 years. What did you do for me? You built a house for yourself, okay? You built a business for yourself. You sent your kids to college. What did you do for me, for Islam? What is my answer? What should I say? At least I can say, oh God, yes, I guided one person, maybe half of a person. I guided him to Islam, to the school of Ahlul Bayt. We have a responsibility. In Karbala, they could not wait. Of course, they were scheduled to go to Medina, from Damascus to Medina. But when they entered, when they were close to the Iraqi territories, close, قالوا للدليل مر بنا على مصارع قتلانا. They said to the guide who's guiding them in the desert, please, on the way to Medina, back to Medina, we want you to pass by the graves of our loved ones in Karbala. So they arrived on the day of Arba'een, and they saw Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, the companion of the Prophet, had already arrived, maybe 1 or 2 days before. Jabir was blind. He asked his companion, Al-A'mash ibn Atiyah, take me to the Euphrates. So I bathed there, and he dressed in brand new clothing, and he said to him, hold my hand and guide me to the grave of Hussein. So A'mash holds his hand, and Jabir, whenever he takes a step, كان لا يخطو خطوة إلا ويسبح الله ويحمده ويقدسه. With every step he would sanctify God, praise God, remembers God, until he put his hand on the grave. When he felt the grave of Imam Hussein, he cried 3 times, Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. And then he said, Habibun la yujibu Habibah. A sweetheart who does not answer his sweetheart. وأنى لك بالجواب وقد شخبت أوداجك على أثباجك وفرق بين رأسك وبدنك. How can you answer me when your head has been severed, separated from your body? While he was there, they saw the caravan coming, and his assistant came to him. He said, this is Imam Zainul Abidin is coming back with Lady Zainab and the sisters and the daughters of Hussein. So Imam Zainul Abidin, when he looked at Jabir, he said, Jabirun hada, are you Jabir, our friend, the companion of the Prophet? He said, Bala yabna Rasulullah. Yes, indeed, I am Jabir. Imam said to him, Ya Jabir, Wallahi ha huna qutilat rijaluna, ذبحت أطفالنا, سبيت نساؤنا. On this very land, here on the land of Karbala, our men were murdered, our children were slaughtered, our women were taken captive. And Lady Zainab came and she threw herself on the grave of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Ukhayya Aba Abdullah, Akhi Aba Abdullah. She embraced the grave. She said to him, I promised you to take the caravan and bring it back safe, but I am sorry, I apologize to you because one of your daughters, Ruqayyah, died in Damascus. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا، واجعلنا اللهم من أنصاره وأعوانه، وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم. Do we have time for a Q&A? Few minutes? Okay, Bismillah.